Have you ever wondered how the Prophet Muhammad taught his followers the tenets and principles of Islam? This question sparks our exploration today as we delve into the role of the Prophet as a teacher, a guide, and a beacon of wisdom. Teaching, this act of imparting knowledge, of sharing understanding, is a cornerstone of any belief system. But in the context of Islam, it takes on a profound significance. Through teaching, the Prophet Muhammad was able to spread the message of Islam, shaping not just a religion, but a way of life for millions. In this exploration, we'll be focusing on three key aspects: the Prophet's teaching methods, his patience, and his wisdom. Each of these facets provides us with a unique lens to examine his role as a teacher and the impact he had on his followers. Join us as we journey through the life of the Prophet Muhammad, exploring his unique and effective teaching methods. The Prophet Muhammad wasn't just a religious leader, he was an educator, a mentor, and a guide. Born into a society steeped in tradition and hierarchy, he was a beacon of change, advocating for a more egalitarian society. His early experiences, particularly his humble beginnings, played a significant role in molding his teaching methods. As a young man, Muhammad was known for his honesty and integrity, earning him the nickname Al-Amin, or the Trustworthy. These qualities not only won him respect among his peers but also laid the foundation for his future teachings. He understood the importance of trust and credibility in imparting knowledge, and he built his teachings on these principles. Moving to his teaching methods, the Prophet Muhammad was a master of simplification. He understood that complex ideas needed to be broken down into digestible pieces for people to truly grasp them. To achieve this, he often used parables, metaphors, and real-life examples. His teachings were not abstract theories but relatable lessons that resonated with his followers. For instance, to illustrate the importance of charity, he didn't just preach its virtues. Instead, he gave a simple analogy, likening charitable deeds to a corn grain that grows into 7 ears, each bearing 100 grains. This vivid imagery made his teachings more relatable and understandable, helping his followers grasp the profound impact of charity. The Prophet also emphasized the importance of experiential learning. He believed that knowledge gained through personal experience was more impactful than theoretical knowledge. He encouraged his followers to learn not just from his words, but also from their own experiences and observations. This approach made his teachings more tangible and applicable to everyday life. His teachings weren't just about religion, they were about leading a balanced, moral, and fulfilling life. The Prophet Muhammad's early life and teaching methods serve as an example of how personal experiences can shape one's educational approach. His use of parables and real-life examples to convey complex ideas underscores the importance of making learning relatable and experiential. It's a timeless lesson for educators and learners alike. Patience is a virtue, and no one understood this better than the Prophet Muhammad. His role as a teacher, mentor, and guide was marked by an incredible degree of patience, which he used to great effect in imparting knowledge and wisdom. Let's explore some instances that highlight the Prophet's patience in teaching. One of the most striking examples involves a man who once approached the Prophet during a gathering. He had a question that might have seemed trivial to many. Yet, the Prophet listened attentively, treating the man's curiosity with respect and patience. He did not rush him, nor did he dismiss his query as insignificant. Instead, he took the time to provide a thoughtful, comprehensive answer, thus enabling the man to leave with a greater understanding. This patience extended to dealing with misunderstandings as well. On numerous occasions, the Prophet encountered people who misunderstood his teachings. Instead of expressing frustration or impatience, he would calmly explain the concepts again, often using different analogies or examples to make his point clearer. In this way, he ensured that his teachings were accessible to all, regardless of their initial level of understanding. Even when faced with objections, the Prophet's patience did not waver. He did not resort to argument or confrontation. Rather, he would listen to the person's concerns, understand their perspective, and then gently guide them towards a broader understanding. He treated every objection as an opportunity for further teaching, further dialogue, and further growth. Through his patience, the Prophet created an environment where questions were welcomed, misunderstandings were opportunities for learning, and objections were gateways to deeper understanding. His patience wasn't just a personal virtue, it was a teaching tool, fostering an environment of trust and understanding. It was through this patient and kind approach that he was able to guide so many towards a path of wisdom and enlightenment. Wisdom is the ability to think and act using knowledge, experience, understanding, and insight. And the Prophet Muhammad was the embodiment of wisdom. In the realm of teaching, the Prophet Muhammad demonstrated this wisdom in several profound ways. One of the most remarkable ways was his ability to understand the needs and circumstances of his followers, and to adapt his teachings accordingly. This was not a one-size-fits-all approach. Rather, he tailored his lessons to the individual, recognizing that each person had unique experiences and perspectives. This form of wisdom was not just about knowledge, but about empathy and understanding. The Prophet Muhammad took the time to understand his followers, their backgrounds, their struggles, and their aspirations. By doing so, he was able to communicate his teachings in a way that was relevant and meaningful to them. Moreover, the Prophet Muhammad's wisdom extended to how he presented his teachings. He often used parables, metaphors, and stories to convey complex ideas in a simple and understandable way. This approach made his teachings accessible to all, regardless of their intellectual capabilities or educational background. The Prophet's wisdom also lay in his ability to focus on the essential. He knew that not every detail was of equal importance, and he had the wisdom to distill his teachings down to their core essence. This allowed his followers to grasp the key principles and apply them in their lives. But perhaps the most powerful demonstration of the Prophet's wisdom was his humility. Despite his profound wisdom and knowledge, he never saw himself as superior. He was always a learner, always seeking to understand more, to grow, and to improve. This humility was a powerful lesson in itself, teaching his followers the importance of lifelong learning and personal growth. In all these ways, the Prophet Muhammad demonstrated a deep and profound wisdom in his teaching. His approach was not just about imparting knowledge, but about nurturing understanding, empathy, and growth. His wisdom was a guiding light, illuminating the path of knowledge for his followers. The Prophet Muhammad's teaching methods were revolutionary for his time and continue to inspire educators today. In our exploration of his methods, we've delved into his early life, his patience in teaching, and his wisdom in imparting knowledge. Reflecting on the Prophet's early life, we saw how he used real-life experiences as a teaching tool. He communicated complex ideas in simple, relatable terms, transforming everyday occurrences into lessons of wisdom. His teaching was not confined within the walls of a classroom. He used the world as his stage, making learning an immersive experience. His patience in teaching was another standout quality. He took time to understand his followers, their strengths, and their weaknesses. He never rushed the learning process. Instead, he allowed his followers to learn at their own pace, ensuring they grasped the essence of his teachings. His patience was a manifestation of his deep empathy and respect for his followers' individual learning paths. The Prophet's wisdom in imparting knowledge was profound. He taught not just through words but also through his actions, embodying the principles he preached. He encouraged his followers to question, to seek, and to understand. This approach fostered a culture of critical thinking, pushing his followers to not just accept information but to analyze, comprehend, and apply it. His teaching methods were inclusive and adaptive, catering to the diverse learning needs of his followers. He used parables, metaphors, and analogies to simplify complex concepts, making them accessible to all. His teachings were not merely about imparting knowledge, they were about nurturing wisdom, understanding, and thoughtfulness. The Prophet Muhammad was not just a religious leader, he was a teacher whose methods continue to resonate with us today. His approach to teaching, patient, understanding, proactive, and inclusive, has left an indelible mark on education. His methods, revolutionary for his time, continue to inspire and guide educators, reaffirming his enduring legacy as a teacher. His teachings transcend time and space, echoing in classrooms, lecture halls, and learning spaces around the world. The Prophet Muhammad indeed was a teacher for all times. As we journeyed through the life of the Prophet Muhammad, we discovered a teacher like no other. His approach to teaching was uniquely tailored to his students, understanding their individual needs and catering to them. He was a beacon of patience, never rushing the learning process, but allowing it to unfold naturally. His wisdom, embodied in his teachings, carries timeless relevance. Even in today's fast-paced, technology-driven world, there's much to learn from his methods. By focusing on understanding rather than memorization, encouraging questions and fostering a love for learning, we can transform the educational landscape. Consider this. What if we taught with more patience, understanding, and wisdom? What if we placed more value on personal growth and moral development just as the Prophet did? These reflections invite us to reassess our approach to teaching and learning. In the Prophet Muhammad we find a teacher whose methods were timeless, whose patience was boundless, and whose wisdom continues to guide us today.